Hello, I'm Terry Pratchett, and I write books, which is why I'm now terrypratchettbooks.com. I suppose it's just possible that someone watching this has not heard of Discworld, which, in a somewhat quiet way, is celebrating its 25th anniversary this year. And in some ways, Discworld is increasingly difficult to describe. It started out as an antidote to fantasy. I started it in the early 80s when there were far too many copies of Tolkien floating about, and I thought things needed livening up a bit. And so I started off by parodying existing writers, good and bad. And after a few books, I discovered the joy of plot. And without ever really thinking about it, I suddenly embarked on writing, I think, what must be one of the longest fantasy series ever, at least longest fantasy series ever written by one person. Because including the various little spin-off books, we must be talking about getting on for 35 books now. Discworld has changed a lot over the period. Physically, it's a flat world on the back of a giant turtle, but let's get right past that because, you know, this world is basically a lot of rock and water on top of a molten iron core, but we don't refer to it very much during the average novel, and so the turtle doesn't get referred to all that much in Discworld books. The inhabitants of Discworld are people that we can recognise. How can I put this? It's not a bad idea to think about it like Lord of the Rings 500 years on, if things had happened as they do here. In other words, the big wars are over, the trolls and the dwarves and the vampires and the werewolves have settled down and they've come into the big cities and people are chasing a dollar, and some of the problems are the problems of civilization. Commander Vimes of the City Watch and his watchmen occupy quite a large slice of the numerous books that there are. And it's a curious thing. On Discworld, I write romances and police procedurals and murder mysteries. But because it's on Discworld, they all become fantasies. It doesn't matter what actually happens in there. And it's become a huge whiteboard on which I can pursue any particular interests I have. It's been a long haul. It doesn't seem like 25 years ago.